Have you ever wondered how famous celebrities or influencers can completely turn the whole fan base against them? I mean, how did it happen? Was it the lying? Was it the reduction in quality content? Could it be a seal impersonation? Well, if you're Bert Kreischer, then it's yes to all of those questions. Today we'll look at why people can't stand Bert Kreischer, how his fans have turned against him, and we'll have a closer look at some of the reasons why so many people hate Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer was born on the 3rd of November in 1972, and he was born in St. Petersburg, Florida. Bert attended SFU, or as it's better known as Florida State University. And during Bert's college years, Florida State was ranked the #1 college for partying. And I guess that makes Bert the #1 party frat boy in America. I'll leave that one up to you. After college, Bert found a fair bit of success in the TV industry and then got into the business of stand-up comedy. He's a well-known comedian with 4 Netflix specials, 1 Netflix show, and 2 podcasts, one of which he does with Tom Segura. So he's done pretty well for himself, I would say. Well, this is where we run into our first problem: Bert Kreischer's lying. Through multiple appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience, Bert has had millions of listeners to hear some of his most infamous tales and adventures, including his first experience with cocaine and of course his infamous The Machine story. You see, with Bert telling these stories so frequently, people have started to doubt the validity of his claims. I think many would compare Bert to that one friend who fabricates the truth about everything, and I'm not talking about for comedic effect. At first everything's kind of funny, but give it long enough and it becomes a continuous never-ending cycle of somebody recalling all of their favourite canon events that have occurred in their own head. It can become incredibly frustrating. The occasional lies and fabricated versions of the truth on a frequent enough basis can be enough for people to grow a strong distaste for an individual, and unfortunately I think it's happening to Bert. This goes hand in hand with our next reason, and it's to do with Bert's drinking habits. Many would use the term alcoholic, but Bert doesn't seem to think so.
If you're not an alcoholic, you just drink too much. Is the bar still open? Can I have 6 Heinekens? And you just say to yourself, I'm just getting 6 so that if I have 4, I just know I have 2 extra ones. And then you go through 6 and you're like, oh man, I'm not done yet. Dude, I've drank in every alone scenario you can possibly think of.
People are seeing the path of destruction that Bert leaves behind him as a result of his drinking. And this is evident in the somewhat recent drama that Bert found himself in, where an argument occurred between Bert and Joe List about pizza and Thai food at a bachelor's party.
Yeah. Bert and DeRosa are at this bar drinking heavily at a Thai bar. Yeah. Joe List was like, I'm gonna order some pizzas too. So these pizzas come. By the time he gets back, he's, where the fuck were you?
That's what Bert says?
Bert immediately, we were sitting there for 2 hours. He's cranky. And he goes, you got pizzas? You said Thai. And he goes, I didn't say Thai. I don't like Thai food. And he starts just screaming at Joe List. Joe List is like, dude, what is this fight about? I just hacked on some pizzas to whatever you got.
Sure.
I was like,
we can eat pizza and Thai food?
Yeah, exactly. I said Thai food was fine. He goes, you weren't here. Don't you ever say you wanted Thai food. Dude, it was the best.
This fair bit of drama shows the effects of Bert's drinking. It seems like Bert's crazy party boy persona is starting to work against him. What was once a funny, goofy personality trait is now becoming a great annoyance to Bert's closest friends and fans alike. It seems like Bert's disregard for how his heavy drinking can affect those close to him appears to be turning his own fans against him. Now, of course, if we're talking about Bert Kreischer, then there's one thing that we absolutely have to address. Have you guessed it? Not yet? You need a little more time? Okay, fine, I'll put you out of your misery. It's his laugh. Bert Kreischer's laugh.
It'll never be that funny again. You can do that 10 more times.
I don't think this is a major thing, but he's certainly not doing himself any favours here. For me, it can make listening to a podcast a little hard on the ears, but for me it's nothing major. For others, I know it can drive you up the wall, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is also causing people to jump ship. But out of all the reasons that I have mentioned, I think the biggest reason why people hate Bert Kreischer is to do with the volume that he's putting content out. It's simple. More volume, more pressure, less time, and less effort. The problem is Bert is doing so much, from his podcasts, to the stand-up, to the Machine movie that he released. It's virtually impossible to maintain the level of quality that Bert once had. A big reason why his fan base are turning on him is because they don't feel like they're getting much out of the content. And this feeling is probably growing stronger with Tom and Bert banking episodes of 2 Bears in One Cave. When you have a fan base like Bert's that's been loyal to him for such a long time, the most important thing you can do for that community is provide good quality content that provides value. And in Bert's case, that would be in the form of providing good quality entertainment for his fans. Even Bert himself has addressed the issue surrounding an emphasis on quality quantity.
I've been able to make money doing what I love is just stand up. And so I'm like, make hay where the sun shines. Like, push it as hard as you can. You want to put me on tour? Put me on tour January to March. Get me to Europe. Get me to Australia. Then let's start it up again in September. Let's push all the way to the end of the year. Let's do a special. That's where my head's at. So when you get an opportunity, if you don't fucking seize it, you fuck. I got a new joke. I want to go to the store. I'll go to the store tonight. Even though I don't want to, I'll go to the store tonight. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do that. I feel guilty if I don't work.
I have absolutely no problem with somebody furthering their career and creating security for themselves. But at what expense are you willing to do that? Where the people who once worshipped you are now the people that despise you. If Bert wants to reel his fans back in, then something has to change. Bert will have to reduce the volume of content so he can take the time to work on his craft. But if he's okay sitting back and cashing checks, then you cannot blame the guy. So is Bert Kreischer really that bad? Well, it depends. If you can look over his masterful seal impression, a couple of questionable stories here and there, you'll be just fine. But if all of that is too much for you, then maybe you should look somewhere else. I don't think he's unbearable. I certainly don't have any hate towards him, but I do agree Bert's antics can get a little frustrating at times. But I don't think he's terrible. I mean, I can think of a few more people who are a little worse than Bert. But be sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. I mean, this lets me know that you're enjoying this type of content and you want to see it on the channel. Comment what you want to see next and we will talk soon.
Don't you ever say you want a Thai food!